Are you finding it challenging to lead effectively because everybody has different perspectives and somehow it's difficult for you to create buy-in for the solution that you want to propose? Or are you finding it really difficult to express what the solution is and only to find that the powers that be don't agree with your rationale, even though you genuinely believe in your solution? Well, if you have experienced any one of these things, then this video is for you. I'm answering one of the key questions that my clients have been asking me and some viewers as well have been asking me when it comes to how do you articulate the problem effectively? Right? Having this skill in articulating the problem is key if you want to solve the solution for them, if you want to solve the problem for them, and to be selected for the job. Right? Albert Einstein once said that if he was given 1 hour to solve important problems, he would spend 59 minutes just identifying the problem and having clarity around it. Right? And here's what I say. That's what Albert Einstein says. This is what I, Dr. Grace Lee, says. I say that your ability to solve the problem and to be selected for the expert to be that solution to the problem will be directly proportional to your ability to be able to articulate the problem. So that's why I want to share with you in this video 5 key steps on how it's a process on how you can effectively articulate the problem and be selected for the job. The process that I'm about to share with you is effective no matter who you are articulating the problem in front of and what sort of problem you want to solve with your expertise. And the essence of why this process is going to be effective for you is because the real reason behind articulating the problem effectively is that people will automatically believe that you have the solution for them if you can articulate the problem better than they can, right? And I want you to take a moment to think about a time in your life where you, for example, you had this pain somewhere, maybe on your shoulder, for example. You had this pain in your shoulder and you had no idea where it came from. It just came out of the blue or some sort of a pain point. And it was a very specific type of pain. The frequency and the quality of it, and the way that the pain shot down your elbow a little bit, and maybe it went through to the second 2 fingers of your hand, and it was a very unique experience, and it happened periodically throughout the day. Now, you could go and see a doctor when it comes to understanding what are my treatments, what are my options, and what are the causes of it. However, if you met a stranger who was able to articulate very clearly exactly what you were going through, and they were able to articulate it right down to the frequency, the duration, and the quality of the pain, and they were able to explain it and describe it better than you, wouldn't you agree that you would really listen to them if they said, here's what I did, here's what I did in that situation? And that's why articulating the problem is more important than solving it. And it's the essence of Albert Einstein's quote when he said that he would spend 59 minutes out of that 60 minutes identifying and clarifying the problem. Right, so the essence of the process that I'm about to share with you, it works if you understand the principle of human behaviors, that they will lend you their ear if you can articulate the problem better than they can. Let's face it, most people aren't sufficiently rigorous when it comes to identifying and articulating the problem. And the reason why is because most people just want to dive right in and solve it so that they can quickly generate the results. And I'm not talking just about instant gratification, but there is a general theory out there that the sooner we work on the problem, the sooner we get to a solution, right? And so we don't spend a lot of time thinking things through. And as a result of that, we have a lot of missed opportunities. Or we take on the things that waste resources, time, right, finances, and so on. And even it could be misaligned with our strategy. Right? And I can prove it. For example, haven't you ever pursued a project with such rigor and such enthusiasm only to find that it was going in a path, later on you found out it was going down a path that it should not have gone down. It should have gone in the other direction instead. Or have you noticed that, or have you ever pursued other projects, trying to solve particular problems only to find that the result of the solution that you provided doesn't really solve the original problem that was posed in the first place? But these are key examples that could have happened, and many others as well, that show the importance of sufficient rigor when it comes to identifying and articulating the problem before you set down the path on solving it. So I'm going to offer a process that you can implement on your own in any situation that requires an understanding and buy-in from others. And this process is based on a foundation that I've come up with in terms of my 3-pronged approach to effective communication. And I call it the golden triangle of effective communication. And so here's the 3 prongs. The 3 prongs are audience, context, and message. right? So let's talk about audience. Audience is really important, and we understand this when it comes to knowing your audience, right? Who is it that you need buy-in from? Who is it that has a particular need that you're solving their problem for? And the second one is context. And context is understanding the situation, the environment at hand, and all the different factors that are at play that could affect buy-in and understanding. And finally, the third prong is message. And that's why it's so important to know your audience, because when you are communicating and expressing the problem, it's having the right message to audience match. And that creates the buy-in. This three-pronged approach, the golden triangle, is key, the foundation of the process that I'm about to share. And I teach this to my clients who are serious about mastering the art of communication. So before I share my 5 steps, my 5-step process to you, I have an opportunity for you. If you're curious and also serious about what is the golden triangle and how do I implement that foundation, not just for articulating a problem, but in any situation where I want to express myself or advocate for myself, right? If you desire that coaching and that guidance to teach you how to implement it in your particular situation, then the opportunity is to work with me. In my coaching and my masterclass, I teach clients from all around the world, how do you implement this golden triangle in no matter what situation? So if you're serious about this and working with me to achieve these meaningful goals, then the link on this video, in the description on this video, will be a link to apply for my masterclass. And this is an opportunity there's nothing for sale when you click on the link. It's just literally an opportunity to book a call to speak to myself or a member of my team to explore whether or not this is the right fit. And if it is, then we'll let you know everything you need to know about the details and how I'm going to be working with you directly. So I look forward to talking to you on the inside, only if you're serious about developing and mastering the skill for yourself. And now let's go on to talk about the 5-step process. It's a beautiful day outside, and I thought I would share with you my 5-step process outdoors. Right, so I'm going to share with you what is the 5 steps to be able to go through this process and articulate the problem clearly every single time. And I'm going to share with you the 5 steps using the acronym FOCUS. F.O.C.U.S. So each of the steps is going to start with those letters of the word focus. Starting with step number 1 is F, which is to find the need. Their need. So when I say find their need, I mean their true need, right? Which helps to uncover the root of the problem, not just the symptoms of the problem or what they believe the problem is, but genuinely what is the root problem, which will then point you in the direction towards what is the core need, the true need. And the best way to figure this out is to ask questions out of genuine curiosity, care, and concern. And this will help you to get to the root of what it is, continuously following through with the next question, beginning with what you already know, and then you just let what you know grow through a series of asking curious questions that lead down to 5 whys. Asking why is that a problem for you and why is that a problem for you until you uncover the real need. And this is important because at the end of the 5 process, you're going to be able to have a problem statement, the genuine, raw, and clear problem statement that articulates the problem clearly. And it's going to follow this format. It's going to sound like, in general, we are looking for X so that we can achieve Y, and success is going to be measured by Z. So X, Y, Z are going to be the parameters you're going to uncover in this questioning process when you focus on their needs. And while you are focusing on their needs, it's also important to understand and uncover, why is this need important? Why is this problem a really big problem right now? Why is it urgent? And for example, you might want to also figure out, is this problem, solving this problem right now, in alignment with their goals and in alignment with their priorities? So once you have found their need and focused on the need, the root need of it, so that you can have that statement that I mentioned earlier, then we move on to step number 2. Step number 2, following the acronym F.O.C.U.S, is step number 2, which is outline their clear desires, their outcomes that they desire. So what does that outcome look like? Exactly, the desired end state. What does it look like? Who stands to benefit from it once it is solved? Once the problem is solved, what is success going to look like? What is it going to feel like? That's really important. Not just what we're going to achieve, right? How do we want to feel at the end once we have achieved these outcomes? Once this problem is solved, how do we want to feel in the end? And who else will it benefit? This is collateral benefits. Instead of collateral damage, it's collateral benefits, because even once a problem gets solved, yes, there will be people who will directly benefit from it. But as a result of those people directly benefiting from it, there's going to be others who benefit from it in collaborative as well. So who are these individuals who will benefit? And what is the outcome that we want to create? And once you have this clear statement, it should create some sort of tier of inspiration that, yes, this is what we're going to work towards. It is in alignment with what we value the most, our top priorities. So that's why it's going to feel very aligned, congruent on the inside out, a tier of inspiration. So that is step number 2, is outline their desired outcome. Following the acronym F.O.C.U.S, step number 3 is C, which is contextualize the problem. To contextualize, the word contextualize means to put it into context. So that's why it's important when you want to articulate the problem to put it in a context that they will understand. And the best context to put it in that they will definitely understand is, what have they tried and why didn't it work? Because chances are this problem has been on the forefront of their minds for some time now. And they've tried a bunch of things. They've done some things up until now. Since the moment they realized or became aware of this problem and why it is a problem, they will jump into action and try things. So what are all the different things did they try? And why did they believe it didn't work? What was missing? Was it resources? Was it external knowledge? Was it wisdom? Was it an application? Was it a process? Was it a system for scale? What was missing and why didn't what they tried work? And this is key, contextualizing the problem, because now, once you have put it into that context, they will understand, they will feel it. This is when they become emotionally connected to why they must solve the problem now. All the consequences to not solving it. They're emotionally connected to, this needs to have a solution. We need to move now. And this increases the likelihood that they will take action and to buy into the solution that you are about to present. It increases their sense of urgency. And that is an important key to producing change, is having a sense of urgency, right? So that's step number 3, contextualizing the problem. Following the acronym once again, F.O.C.U.S, U, which is step number 4, is to uncover the resources. What resources do they have available? What resources do they have right now? And what resources are you going to identify that is required to solve this problem that don't exist yet? So you're covering existing and non-existent yet resources. So when it comes to resources, the key of why this is important is because eventually there will be manpower and capital and so on that is necessary to implement the solution you are about to provide after you've articulated the problem and had that problem statement. So this is where you want to uncover a little bit more of what are the time and money resources, a little bit in terms of what is required, the resources that we are going to be, what resources they are willing to devote to solving this problem. And this can, at the same time, uncover what are their current constraints. Because it's possible right now that as you go through this 4th step, that there are certain resources that maybe there's a hesitation, or that it might take some time or some creativity in order to come up with those resources. And that identifies certain bottlenecks and constraints, and therefore might need you to be able to articulate a certain timeline or expand the time horizons for the solution to your problem. Right? So that is step number 4, is to uncover their resources. And then we're going to move on to step number 5. So far, in summary, what we have uncovered was F.O.C.U.S, the 5-step process. Step number 1 is F, which is focus on their needs. Step number 2 is O, which is outline their desired end state. Step number 3 is C, which is contextualize the problem. Step number 4 is U, which was uncover the resources. And finally, step number 5, this step is to state the problem. The key is to state the problem with all the understanding and the context that you have just uncovered. Because you're going to come up, and when you articulate the problem, is going to be using that format that I shared earlier in terms of, we are looking for X so that we can achieve Y, and success is going to be measured by Z. That is the ultimate statement. So you're expanding the 3 parameters, X, Y, Z, in the context that you have uncovered throughout the whole process, and making it into a articulate problem statement. And as you are articulating to your audience, You're going to be able to understand who is my audience and what is the particular language, the context that they communicate with, and maybe what is the particular format that they desire and that they understand the presentation to be in. This goes right back to at the beginning of this video where I shared with you the three-pronged approach of the golden triangle, which is my formula for effective communication. Right? All throughout this video, I shared with you the 5 steps where you are understanding, uncovering the audience, knowing who they are, the context, which is all the question, the 5 steps, and then the message, which leads to the problem statement, the statement of the problem that follows that context. Right? So if you have done this right, the problem statement will be completely in alignment with their highest objectives, their mission, and their priorities that they are setting forward. And when you state it, after you have stated that whole problem statement, check in with them at the end by asking them something like, well, are we on the same page? Did I get everything right, or am I missing anything? And this is going to be very inspiring to hear that summarized and to hear it articulated in a way that's better than they can articulate the problem. And if it is all done right and you ask them, did I get this right or am I missing anything? What you're going to hear in return is, oh my gosh, that is exactly right. You got everything and I couldn't have said it better than myself.